Right, in this video I'm going to be making two simple tool holders for my French cleat wall. Not going to be using any fancy materials, just some leftover bits of plywood. So unlike a lot of the stuff I make, these are going to be real simple designs using basic material that I'm sure a lot of people have got laying about. First one is going to be a tool holder for my cheap chisel set. They did come in this case, but I get fed up with having to dig the case out, get the chisels out and then put them away afterwards. So I'm going to put them on the wall, and the design I'm going to use for this is inspired by Keith over at Ragnbone Brown's channel. I think it's a real great idea and it's simple to make. The second holder is going to be for my 18 volt Katsu router. Now if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I actually built a holder for my corded Katsu router and all the accessories. Well, this one is just going to be a simple holder for the two trim routers themselves. The accessories I'm going to keep in a drawer now. I've got the actual drawers. So I'm going to keep it real basic. Anyone can do it. So let's get to it. So what I'm basically going to do, I'm going to have two sections of 12mm ply, and I'm going to nail some spacers like that. The chisels are just going to sit between, and then I'm going to sandwich it on top with another piece of 12mm ply. Right, so to work out how long I need the front and back pieces to be, I know the spacers I'm using are 3/4 of an inch. I know the gap I need in between is also 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm doing, I'm actually using the actual material that I'm going to be using rather than just measuring it. So you've got your first spacer, then that's where the first chisel is going to be. Then you put another spacer, that's where the second chisel is going to be. That's going to be your third spacer. That's where the third chisel is going to be, and you just keep repeating that and mark a line, and then I can just line the two pieces up together and cut those so they're both the same. So for the spacers I'm going to use in between, just got these leftover strips of 18mm ply, and what you want to make sure is to get the depth you need for the spacers, you've got to use your biggest chisel that you're going to be putting in the holder, and make sure that the spacer is a fraction bigger. I might trim this down a little bit more, but you don't need a lot of trimming. So the spacers need to be cut the exact length of the front and back pieces. So I'm just going to line it up. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to put a mark. That's roughly how long they need to be. So to fix the spacers in position, I'm using a combination of normal wood glue and some Star Bond CA glue. I find the CA glue dries fairly quickly and holds the piece in place while the normal wood glue dries. The There will be a link in the video description for anyone that's interested in purchasing any Starbond products. And if you use the code GRUMPY, you'll get 10% off. First one I'm just going to put flush with the end. Like so. And I'll just work my way down until they're all in place. And then once they're dried a little bit, I can shoot in some brad nails. So once it was all glued together, I waited a couple of minutes for the glue to set and then went back and reinforced it all with some 18 gauge brad nails. Then I gave it a really quick sand just to take off any rough edges. And then finished it off by rounding the edges over. The last thing to do on this particular holder was add the cleat on the back, and that was it, job done. So the second holder, which is going to be for the routers, is basically going to be made up of two pieces. These are just scrap pieces that I've got. I think they should be big enough for what I need. Again, it's going to be a real simple design that anyone can do in next to no time. So the first job on this holder was to drill out 2 holes where the trim routers would be sitting. And as you can see, by drilling from both sides, it gives you a nice crisp edge on both sides with no tear out. Right, so I'm going to cut a dado in the back piece to accept this piece, and I'm just going to use the table saw for that. Then before I start assembly, I'm going to round over the edges, and then it's all going to be put together with glue and screws. So now I'm just marking out for some small triangular pieces which I'm going to add to the sides to add a little bit more support. These are also attached with screws. The last thing to do was cut the cleat. And fit that at the back. So as you can see, the two holders were really simple, really quick to make with basic materials, and you'll notice that on the side where I'm keeping my corded trim router, I've actually added a small cable tidy to wrap the cord up. This is one of the reasons I hate corded tools, because you always have to take the cable into account. So if you wanted to, you could fill the nail holes or cover the screws up or use different joinery altogether so you don't see any of the fixings. But I won't worry about that, and I'm not going to add any finish as of yet because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Right guys, well there you go then. That's another two simple, easy to make tool holders for your French cleat wall. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like button, leave a comment, share with your friends, and if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. After all, it doesn't cost you anything. So until the next video, stay safe and you'll see me in the next one. Cheers for watching guys.